What up, YouTube? Welcome in. YouTube.
Taylor asked me if I could come down to Slayer on Friday to kind of help him walk through his training presentation. So, do you have time to have a beer after?
Did you wait until we were live streaming to invite me to a after work function?
I'm just talking about stuff nobody's watching.
Friday. I believe Friday I'm available. Any other personal questions you'd like me to ask now that the whole internet is watching?
The whole internet.
Yeah, it's possible. It could be. I mean, if you would tweet about it.
Should tweet about it. Tweeter. I had 2 people put in notices today. That was pretty shitty.
I was put in my notice today.
No, you didn't.
Almost.
YouTube live stream. Oh, switch account. Oh, we have 2 subscribers
On the tweeter?
The YouTubes.
I think one's me.
Yeah, I think the other one's probably me. So why don't we have 3 minimum? Nate.
I don't fucking use YouTube.
Why not, man? All the good stuff's on YouTube.
Yeah, I watch YouTube pretty much every day.
How do I get to my videos?
Welcome back to Technology with Old Guys.
Live.
On today's episode, Nate tries to tweet.
Get shareable link. The tweeter.
Wow, Jesse Winker is in the first percentile of sprint speed. That's pretty incredible.
We'll talk about him a little later. Let's get Kraken on this.
You're gonna talk about Jesse Winker
way.
getting ejected for the umpire messing up?
I didn't see that, no.
The pitcher wasn't on the mound. The umpire said, start the clock. Winker was waiting till the pitcher was on the mound to enter the box. And then it went down to 8 seconds, and they got a called strike. And then he fouled it off and was 0-2, and then started chirping at the ump, and then struck out, and then got ejected.
See, Toronto beat Tampa Bay today, 20-1.
Toronto was losing a bunch, too.
Not today.
Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo's trending. What did he do?
Butt stuff.
He wants out of his contract.
Oh, he scored a goal.
Brian, does he want out of his contract as badly as you want to start this podcast?
Dude, I don't care. It's been a rough about week and a half. Actually, about 2.5 weeks, because literally there was about 2 days in between when Jeannie had her sinus infection and I had my kidney stone.
They should call those dick rocks.
By the way, never have been in so much pain in my entire life.
Yeah.
They said it's the closest thing that a man can experience to childbirth.
That's what I've heard too.
Not when you're passing the stone, like when you're peeing it out, but when it's leaving your kidney. I felt like I was having contractions for like 2 hours straight.
All the sugary tea, is that what I think caused it?
I will find out tomorrow.
It's all the butt stuff.
My guess is genetics and energy drinks. So genetics I can't do anything about, but
you can buy single-use plastic water bottles. Congratulations. Brian, that won't help your kidneys.
Won't help your cancer either.
And it won't help the environment, man. Come on.
Yeah, especially the environment.
I recycle.
I don't think you can recycle those. It's a myth.
Well, it says it right on there. Please recycle. So
I know.
I could get
Depends
10
on the
cents from these
municipality.
in Oregon. I'm
You
in
should
the
drive down to Oregon and do that.
I have to go to Oregon all the time. I should.
Oh, that's a good idea. Keep all your deposits.
Yeah, like that episode of Seinfeld where they go to Michigan because they get 10 cents a can instead of 5 cents. But they only do it
That's where they stole
Mother's-
the mail truck, right?
Mother's Day, yeah.
Ready?
Good to see Juan Soto finally doing things. Looking like a
Oh
baseball
man,
player.
have you looked at all their stats? They're bad.
Juan Soto?
San Diego's bad.
Oh, I know, but Juan Soto, I need him to do good.
None of their $3,000 million.
Hey,
players
can
are
we
hitting
like
above
start the
800
podcast?
OPS. They're all under 800 OPS. What?
So is every Mariner.
I know. They're both bad.
Do you think there's something in the water in Peoria?
Probably.
Hmm.
Pesticides.
Man, the energy is like. This is gonna
Juan
be
Soto
a
has a
good
Juan
episode.
Soto has a 905 OPS there, buddy.
No.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no. Are
It
you
was
guys
like a
looking at
7
the same
something.
internet?
Major League Baseball.
Dude, he has been on fucking fire the last 2
Padres.
weeks.
Are you looking at like the last 2 weeks or looking at his overall
No, I'm looking at the season stats.
stats?
His average is up to 260.
His OBP is 408 and his
Soto.
slugging is 497.
Hmm.
408 plus 497 is over 800, right?
Yeah, he's over 800.
Oh. He's over 900, Nate.
Well, not according to my list. 398 on base and 473 slugging. That what you
is
had? Thomas is loving this.
Does
Anyways,
that
go,
count?
go, go, go.
Does that count him going 3 for 4
with a home run today?
Probably not.
Hmm.
He only plays good in Washington.
Ready, Nate? What is going on, sport fans? Welcome into episode 30 of the P Cubed podcast. My name is Thomas Barrett, and I'm friends with these two guys right here, Nate Hull and Brian Danillo. And we're going to record the podcast for you today while they laugh at me. We're so glad that you're here hanging out with us while we have our weekly look at the Seattle sports landscape. We're just three idiots having a chat, and we need your help to keep us in line. So reach out, send your feedback in.
Episode 30, dude. You didn't even say the episode number.
Roll the tape.
did.
I fucking did, but we'll start over.
He did. Jesus.
All right, then I was too busy laughing. Sorry.
I hadn't even. Oh my god. Whatever. We're starting over. This is going great.
Doing it live.
Let's do it live, boys. I mean, we're live streaming, so. What is going on, sport fans? Welcome into episode 30 of the P Cubed podcast. My name is Thomas Barrett, and I'm here with my buddies Nate Hull and Brian Danillo. We're so glad that you're here hanging out with us while we have our weekly look at the Seattle sports landscape. We're just three idiots having a chat, and we need your help to keep us in line. So feel free to send in your feedback. p3sportspod@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. You can find the pod on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart. You can tweet us at P3sportspod, or you can join us live on YouTube while we record at P3sportspod on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and easy. It helps us out quite a bit, and you can be notified when we go live or when we post up the weekly pod. With all that housekeeping out of the way, grab a bev and buckle up. Nate, what's on the agenda this week?
What's up, everybody? Episode 30. Sorry for missing last week. We were all indisposed? We were disposed.
Disposed of some variety.
Some variety. But yeah, episode 30. It feels like a milestone episode. I don't know why, but we should say that. Gonna come at you with Around the Sound. Talk about Kraken end of the season, Seahawks OTAs, Sounder. We'll come at you with some, hey, what you got? Do, as always, closing questions with would you rather and random questions. So, what's cracking with the Kraken? I think this is the last time I'm going to say that for a little while, huh?
Yeah, we'll probably give some little updates as the offseason goes on, but unfortunately, Kraken were eliminated in 7 by the Dallas Stars week and a half ago. So it was a really incredible season. I'm glad that we were able to kind of cover it a little bit. Hopefully introduce hockey to a few of you out there, and just really excited to see how the offseason goes, what additions they make. I think the front office proved last offseason that they can self-scout, self-evaluate, make some good tactical decisions, and really improve the squad. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this year.
Yeah, so am I. It was a hell of a postseason. Did not expect them to beat Colorado. Did not expect them to push Dallas 7 games. It was a fun series, man. They got Ottinger. They had him pulled twice. They
right second time was quick. They yanked him like so fast.
Yeah, but they were right on the doorstep there. They scored that goal with 11 seconds left, and then Eberle had a chance there to tie it at the end. I mean, it would have been a miraculous shot, but he had a chance, man. That would have been crazy. But overall, I would definitely say a very successful season. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing in the offseason and getting back to it there for season 3.
I was listening to an analyst today. He was talking about whether they would add anybody of extreme consequence. He thought maybe a defender. They got to re-sign some of their own players like Dunn. He also didn't think Shane Wright would be ready for NHL action, and he's not. He doesn't qualify for WHL yet, which is kind of weird because of he missed the COVID season, so he hasn't had an official amount of time away from. I don't understand how it all works, but it's a really interesting off season for them because they talked a little bit about upsetting the apple cart because they have such a good vibe and such a deep roster. But do you bring in a stud and lose some of those players because you're paying somebody big money, right? And, you're going to get Burakovsky back. You're going to hopefully have Cartier taking the next step, things like that. So
can you look at a team like the 15-16 Royals that didn't really have a star but had good chemistry, played the game a little bit differently than everyone else, and got to the pinnacle that year? Or are the sports way too different to try to draw parallels?
I don't know. I think they proved that they could cause chaos just by having a deep roster.
Thomas, I think that is a very good comparison. I think there are similarities there. I don't know if it is enough in the NHL because it does seem a little bit more star-driven than Major League Baseball.
Seems, yeah. That's why I wanted to ask.
You look at one of the teams that's still playing, Carolina. They don't really have a superstar, so they're a little bit better than the Kraken. They have more overall talent, but they don't have that superstar player. So, and it's interesting that both Carolina and Seattle were put together by Ron Francis. So I think he was trying to emulate what they were doing in Carolina. I do think that's a good comparison, but I don't know if that's enough to get them to the Stanley Cup.
I mean, yeah, you watched that Dallas series and their top line, all 3 of the forwards made your ass pucker when they got close to the net, right? I don't think, Seattle had any of that. They outworked everybody. And, I would love to see a star come in here. I don't know if that, what you said about Francis, I don't know if that's his MO. Maybe you home grow your stars, right? And hopefully, everybody takes another step, then that's how you get better. Fill in with good talent. Something the Mariners are having a tough time with. So we'll get to the Mariners in a minute. But anything else on the Kraken?
Successful season.
Yeah, totally a great season. A lot of fun to go to a game. We were watching meaningful hockey in March and April. It's pretty awesome.
In May.
And May. Also comment that the Thunderbirds won the WHL title. on home ice. A
Woo!
lot of fun.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Woo woo. So some championships coming home to the region is pretty fun. All right, Seattle Seahawks. They had their OTAs started this week.
Yeah, so we actually missed the opportunity last week to talk about rookie minicamp as well. So that kind of predated the OTAs that are happening this week as well. So we're getting into the meat of the first part of the off season before we get this kind of little lull right here. So it's good to see all the veterans together with the rookies.
Really like to see Bobby Wagner out there. I know that he's older and probably doesn't have like a huge role to play once Brooks comes back. We'll see, but nice to see him leading drills and being out there number 54. Kind of felt right. A couple things came out today that were interesting. Jamal Adams might not be ready for the first game, it turns out, and that Tariq Woolen had a cleanup on his knee, which was out of nowhere. But Woolen should be ready for training camp, they say, and the Adams saga continues. But I mean, that's why they brought in Jordan Love. So
Julian Love.
Who's Jordan
Yeah.
Love?
Jordan
It's
Love's
the Packers quarterback.
Packers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They brought in Julian Love as insurance for Jamal Adams, and then if and when Jamal Adams ever could see the field, he's going to be that in the box safety, and they're going to have five DBs on the field, but Adams is basically going to be playing a linebacker role, which we have talked about a lot over the last few months.
Which they played twice before he got hurt, and it looked awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, that once again it just seems like he can't recover very well. He's so, I don't know what it is, but it seems like he recovers slower than most other players in the NFL. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for him this year, but I do have high hopes for Julian Love and for the rest of that secondary. I still think they're going to be good, even though he's gone. I'm with you, Nate. I was definitely excited to see Bobby Wagner, see him running around, see that 54. I love the fact that he wants to be the one calling plays. He wants that green dot on his helmet, which I think he's going to have, and I think it's cool. And then, it's just hearing the things that Geno Smith is saying about Jackson Smith and Jigba's getting me very, very excited.
Dude looks so smooth. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, he's
a good route runner.
He's still not 100%. He's still they're taking it slow with that hamstring, but even then, they are very, very excited to see what he can do. And him in that slot is going to be, I think, absolutely insane with him and DK and Tyler all running around out there. Just give Geno more weapons. I love it.
One thing I noticed was Charbonnet. He's bigger than I thought he was. Looking, I don't watch a lot of college football, but he looked big and he looked quick. I think that's going to be a really interesting add for this team. There's 3 young running backs now on this squad that create a lot more depth. Like last 5 years, there hasn't been depth. And now it feels like we actually have something to lean in on. It's pretty good.
One of the things one of the terms used in kind of evaluating college rosters is like the 2 deep, the 3 deep, the 4 deep, right? Like who are your top guys at each position? And right now with these 3 young running backs, these 3 top receivers, and these 3 tight ends, like I'm really interested to see what type of different personnel groupings and options and stuff they're going to have out of some of those groups, because that you just feel like you're oozing talent now at the top 3 at all 3 of those positions.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see them put it all together. I'm excited.
Totally. Anything else on Seahawks? Nope. Seattle Mariners. They keep dancing around 500, folks. I don't think it's good enough. And the bright spots, Kelenic, Caballero, notwithstanding, the horses have to do better. The horses have to be better. Teoscar has to produce. Geno has to produce. Julio needs to pull his head out. Like, I'm looking at the roster, and it's like you're going to have 2 All-Stars and they're going to be pitchers, right? Like Julio's not even going to be in the All-Star game. It's going to be home in Seattle. It's going to be really sad. And like now that Caballero is good, like I don't think Wong has a spot on this roster if Dylan Moore comes back.
Yeah, it's tough to say. It's too bad. I really liked the addition, and I think he still has a career in front of him. But with the struggles of the team, I don't think they can afford to keep him around if he's not performing. And the guy that is on the roster is. I mean, at this point, you'd rather have Caballero out there every single day. He's giving you quality at bats every single time, and he isn't playing any worse defensively. So, if and it's what you wanted out of Wong. Continue playing good defense and then improve on offense. And to your point, just there, Nate causes havoc on the base paths too. It's amazing. He's doing really well.
Yeah, I think Caballero brought some much needed fire to this team. I mean, I know that they always talk about the vibes in the locker room. They needed someone to light a fire under their ass. Mm-hmm. It was Sam Haggerty a little bit last year.
Dude, no,
with his attitude.
It's the second coming. Last year was Haggerty with his play. I mean, he was like a speed and defense guy that hit around 300 last year out of nowhere, and it was a big deal. And it's exactly the role Caballero is playing right now.
And I like the fact that he doesn't take shit from anybody. It's going to be interesting. I think he has manipulated the pitch clock rules better than anybody I've seen. And it's because he's spent so much time in the minor leagues. Mm. He's gotten comfortable with it. So he knows exactly what to do. He knows his timing, and he is just messing with pitchers, getting in their head. So cool. It seems like every at bat, the umpire's getting out of his stance and saying something to the pitcher. And then, he's getting in the pitcher's head, and I love it.
I made another note of like Marco Gonzales. He gave up 2 runs. They're playing right now, so he gave up 2 runs tonight. But he came out with a quality start in this game, which I can't even effing believe. But
after the first 3 batters of the game, you were face palming like, ugh, and then he just went to work. So,
but I mean, like it does bring in the question, like, why are we continuing to run him out there as a starter, right?
Who else are you going to start?
I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Somebody else is not going to have a 6 ERA.
Flexen.
And like a 1.4 whip. No, Flexen's just as bad.
I know. I was kidding. It's
So
funny. We had that debate earlier, Flexen and Marco, and they both have been dog shit so far this year.
Baroa, they're working as a reliever now, so they shut him down as a starter for the year. So, were they able to add Malone back to the roster after he got released? I think you guys said that they were. Tommy Malone. Let me take a look.
I don't know.
Anyways, Mariners have a get healthy homestand. They better win at least 5, I think, or else it'd be disappointing.
Well, it's a 10-game homestand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to.
8.
No, 7. It's 10.
Sorry.
Yeah, they need to go. Well,
who's the third team coming?
4 against Oakland, 3 against Pittsburgh, 3 against the Yankees.
Oof. Yankees are hot.
Yeah, you want 6, at least. Yeah. You want to come out of this homestand 500 or better, right? Mm-hmm. Get a little momentum going. If the Mariners win tonight and tomorrow, they'd take the first 3 games from the A's. The A's came in with a record of 10-37. That would push their record to 10-40, which is 1 win out of every 5.
No, if they lose tonight, they're 10-40. If the Mariners win tonight, they're 10. Oakland's 10-40.
Yeah, even
I have the box score up right now. Yeah, they're 10-39 already. They're 5-19 away. And
yeah, you're right. Holy shit! Wow, crazy.
Yeah, this might be one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, they're bad. So don't lose to them.
Good advice, Nate. Good advice.
On the Mariners?
I got nothing.
Seattle Sounders, MFers. Play to your competition, Seattle Sounders. That was a really bad game last game. Coming off a really bad game before that. Coming off a really bad game 2 games before that, where they ended long losing streaks for really bad teams. I don't know if you watched any of it, Thomas, but
nope.
It was pathetic. Like, bad giveaways, in midfield in their own defensive end, like a shot that goes off the post then goes off the back of the keeper for a goal. I mean, just trying to run past the defense, not having any creativity, not taking shots when they have the opportunity. Like Rusnak and Lodero were lined up prime just to put something on net, and like they just stopped and like waited. It's like, we got to do something. You can't always just kick it to the corner and then throw a cross in. Like, you have to be creative other ways, and it's really becoming frustrating. And Schmetzer at half brought in kids. They took off Nuhu and took off Chu and brought in the kids, and they were like on fire, right? Like they were going for goal, and it just didn't happen. And then they put in another goal, and it's just like, oh man, like 2-0 in Vancouver. What the F?
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, they're still second in the table.
They're second in the table in their division, but they're starting to lag behind a lot of the teams in the Eastern Conference. So, 14 games into the season, you're 1.64 points per game. You want to be close to 2. So thankfully, most of the rest of the Western Conference is just kind of mired behind them. Like pretty much every team is between 16 and 22 points. So a couple more bad performances, and they're gonna find themselves way down the table. So they just got to get it together.
Yeah. Also, a lot of every team behind them has games in hand. LAFC ahead of them has games in hand. So it's, I don't know, it's frustrating. They're better than that, and I'm hoping that people can get healthy. There's concern for Christian Roldan. He's been out 5 weeks now with concussion symptoms, and Nuhu had malaria, and it's just a lot of not good right now with the Sounders. And I like to see some fire. They got New York Red Bulls coming up this weekend, and then they have the Timbers. So
see if Schmetzer's speech last time around fires him up for the Timber game.
Hope so. All right. Sons of Pitches softball. Team started 4-0. I missed last week, so did Brian.
When's the last time we started 4-0?
It's been a
while.
years at least, yeah. Nice thing is we got our new shirts that are coming this week. They're very comfy. I like them, and we're gonna actually look like a team. So yeah, good job, y'all. Like, thanks for holding it down. We're all out of town.
Yeah, we actually had quite a few absences last week. Both you, Mark. I guess 3, not quite a few. But yeah, it was a fun day. Weather's getting a little warmer. It's always good to see the guys. It was my first game of the year, so I missed week 1. You guys missed week 2. So for me, it was really nice to get out and get playing again. Yeah, looking forward to this week. Did you guys look at the box score at all?
Nope, I didn't have a chance, but yeah, their 4-0 start's pretty good for us. We've had a lot of people out, like you said. This will be the first time that the 3 of us will have played together this year, so pretty excited for that.
That's funny.
Week 1, we had an injury with a broken arm, and the other team had a broken nose. That sounded like week 2 wasn't as
no
exciting.
Injuries, yeah. Josh, I think, tweaked his hamstring or his quad or something. So he actually took himself out in the middle of the first game, and Alex was sitting just because him and Kyle were switching off in the outfield, and Josh was like, yeah, go out there and play first base. And the look on Alex's face was like, what? How? So I told him to catch, and I ran out to first. So I played most of the first game and then all the second game at first base. That was fun.
I heard you had a couple of nice picks too.
I had one get by me, or I had 2 get by me, one of which I probably should have caught. The other one, whatever, it's a pretty bad throw. But one of the ones that got by me, I got to the ball quick enough that we threw the guy out at second, so that was nice. Yeah, couple pretty nice picks, so I had a fun time over there.
Nice, good job. That's fun.
I mean, I was also 4 for 4 with a triple. Can we talk about
Hey.
that?
Sweet.
Thomas leading the team in batting average.
So Curtis hit me 12th behind Corey's brother-in-law, Treyon,
Going guy.
whose name we didn't know when we filled out the lineup. So I was behind brother-in-law when the lineup was made, which was slightly insulting. But yeah, man, their left fielder was a really good defensive player. We tried him twice at home, and his throws were like Ichiro style. It was unreal. He was super speedy, and I got him. I went deep over his head at Big Liberty and got it all the way to the fence. So check
Don't
out
sleep on the 12 hitter.
yeah, don't sleep on
Second leadoff.
Oh my god. So yeah, that's my second triple ever. So pretty happy with that. So I had a good night.
Nice. Seattle Storm. I like how we put softball ahead of the women's sport. That's
Yeah,
pretty
who did
bad.
that?
Sorry I'm a jerk.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Start of the season, they got throttled by the Aces by 40.
Yeah,
And
this is gonna be a rough season.
Yeah.
Very, very rough season.
I don't know. I mean, there's like, so I was like paying attention. You know, there's really two super teams in the WNBA, right?
Yeah,
the
Las
Aces
Vegas.
and Liberty.
Yep.
Yeah. And like really everybody else is about the same, you know, the other 10 teams.
I disagree with that.
Okay, but is it good for a league of 12 to have two just super teams, right?
No.
Yeah. I think
No,
it's hard. Like, you know, you look at how well MLS was built, you know, leaning into the parity, but then you have a league, you know, WNBA.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I think for most other leagues, even if they only had 12 teams, having two super teams would not be good. But I think for the WNBA, it's actually not terrible, mainly because one of the biggest things missing from WNBA is viewers, right? And having the having the Aces and the Liberty, those games are going to be must-watch games for any basketball fan. Not necessarily when they play each other, but when they play anybody, right? And then you've got what's going on with Phoenix, with Brittany Griner. That's must-watch basketball as well. So there's some storylines that's going to increase viewership for the WNBA, which is great. But I think overall it's not good for the sport. But, you know, the WNBA is going to take what it can get.
I agree with Brian here, especially on the heels of this really fantastic NCAA women's tournament where they saw a huge rise in viewership, primarily due to, you know, one extremely good team, one really good team, and one just insane superstar. And you got that really high quality game at the end of the tournament with those storylines that you wanted, and they were able to cash in on viewership. So I agree with Brian here. I think I think this is going to help increase viewership, and then you would hope that the league tends back towards the other way, which is going to be more parity, right? So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, right on. Well, thanks everybody. We'll be right back with sportspredictions.net.
Are you guys watching the game at all?
I'm keeping an eye on it. Sportspredictions.net doesn't have a whole lot going on right now.
Oh, I was gonna.
Is Ty France dead?
Why is
Wait,
he
what?
dead?
I'm just
Why'd he
looking at
die?
the box score.
I'm looking at game day, and there's been an injury delay after a hit by pitch for about 35 minutes. Oh, okay. I just got into the thing. He's walking to first. That's good.
That's good. I got an idea about sportspredictions.net.
Please.
So drive people to the website to like see your stuff, right? Because I'm assuming you have your record on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like mention your record and like say, hey, if you want to like learn stuff, you know, go to sportspredictions.net. And I think you like our best feedback was when we had fun things to talk about, like the fun stuff. So like you talking about the horse racing and you talking about masters and things like that. I think you should pick like something fun, you know, and just highlight it and like maybe like throw a prop bet in there or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I actually have 2 fun things to talk about this week.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Great. Ready?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
No, I was just saying I'm ready.
Welcome back, everybody. Sportspredictions.net with Brian. What's going on, Brian?
Yeah, we had a couple of fun events over the weekend. It's always fun when there's a major, and then it's always fun when there's the Preakness, one of the big 3 horse races. So we talked a little bit about that on the website. We did not pick Brooks Koepka to win. Our pick to win was Justin Thomas, actually, to repeat, and I don't even think he made the cut. So not our best pick, but it was still cool to see Brooks battle back and win that 5th major. So that was a lot of fun. And then watching.
Is he the first live golf to win a major?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, he is. And then watching the Club Pro. So I'm very glad before we did the Masters that Thomas talked about who can get invited to each major. Thomas, thank you for that, because this was this was pretty interesting. So they had Michael Block, who was a PGA professional, got invited to the PGA Championship, actually finished in the top 15, earning an exemption to next year's PGA Championship.
He's a teaching professional, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so with PGA, that's an important distinction, right? Like, he doesn't have his tour card. He just, like, is a pro at a golf course.
Yes. Yeah, and I was watching with my fiance when he made that hole-in-one. It was insane.
Did he?
Absolutely insane.
He dunked that, didn't he?
He did. He not only did he dunk it, it never hit the flagstick.
That's crazy.
There's like a little 2-inch gap between the flagstick and the hole, and he made it in that. He didn't even know it went in till Rory went over there and gave him a hug. It was awesome.
Quick little thing. I've only ever seen one hole-in-one live, and it was a guy in Palm Springs that dunked it in a threesome with me and my dad. And he won a trip to Vegas to compete in like a hole-in-one championship because it was like a pay $5 and do this type thing at the tee box. It was pretty cool. I was like 12.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was crazy. This guy, he got a special exemption to the tournament this week, so he's playing this week as well. He's getting texts from Michael Jordan. It's that guy's life has changed forever. So it's awesome. And then we also did at Sports Predictions talk about the Preakness. Don't know a whole lot about horse racing, but we love seeing Triple Crowns, so we wanted the horse that won the Kentucky Derby to win the Preakness. That was our pick. Finished in 3rd, but it's a lot of fun to watch those events. So we we don't have a whole lot of stuff here coming up. We do have some stuff coming in the next couple of weeks for the NBA draft. So we'll be making some predictions on the NBA draft. I know we're going to talk a little NBA later, so we can get into that then. But yeah, other than that, still picking baseball games. We've got our records page up on sportspredictions.net, so go take a look at it, see how we're doing.
Sweet. Thanks, Brian. I'm fucking around. Everybody else is fucking with me. God damn it.
Did I miss something?
I was messing around with the page and Thomas is fucking with it too. And anyways, sorry. Well, thanks, Brian. We'll be right back with Hey, What You Got? Dick. All right. Ready?
Always ready.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, what you got? Still my favorite segment. So, Brian, what you got?
Yeah, the NBA and NHL both are having their conference finals right now, and they are both boring as hell. I mean, you've got the combined records are like 14-1.
Yeah.
The Nuggets swept the Lakers. The Celtics won today to not get swept. Then you've got the both series in the NHL. Vegas Dallas, that's 3-0. Miami or Florida, Carolina, that's 3-0. At least those games, they've been very competitive. There's been, a lot of overtimes there, but it hasn't been the drama-filled conference finals that I have been hoping. You always like to see games close and series close when it gets down to the end, and this has just not been delivering.
It was really interesting in the NHL. I mean, watching like we were watching, kind of following the Kraken and their success. Almost every first and second round playoff game across every single series in the NHL went to like 6 or 7, and then now we're in the conference finals, and both are on the verge of a sweep. It's a little odd.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating for me because I love series that go 7 games in every sport, and especially in hockey. I think hockey game 7s are probably the most intense, pressure-packed game that you can get.
Especially an overtime hockey game 7 with the golden goal. The NBA had an opportunity to have LeBron James and the Lakers face the Celtics, and now they're going to have Miami, a bunch of relative nobodies, play Denver. I'm sure NBA is not really excited about that. And non-competitive series too, so maybe the finals will be great. Who knows?
I hope so. Need something to turn it around.
Jimmy Butler is really good. That's all I know.
Playoff Jimmy's a real thing, man.
Yeah,
real
very,
thing.
Very good.
That sounds like a name someone might use to refer to themselves in the first person. Like, Playoff Jimmy's here, everyone.
He owns a coffee company too.
Just reminds me of it. He also listens to Nickelback in the locker room.
Stop it.
Wow.
Seriously, I was actually reading an article right before I came
Gross.
on here. He is the DJ, and he gets to pick the music. He's from Texas, so he's a big country fan. And
was it on the internet that you read that article?
yeah, big country fan, big like 90s fan. So he and basically all of his teammates are like, if we keep winning, I don't care.
I don't think winning is worth that cost.
Hey Thomas, what you got?
I've got Nate next. Nate, what you got?
So funny.
Okay, you guys are dicks.
You're
right. Keep switching this around.
We are dicks, but we didn't switch it around. What's for dinner?
Pork yakisoba.
Oh, yummy.
A little yaki. Nate, what you got?
Brian, introduce me, so it's seamless. Oh, he's frozen now.
Hey Nate, what you got?
I went down a rabbit hole of bad contracts in sports, and I had a few buckets that players landed into, and I wanted to figure out who like popped to the top of your mind when I say these buckets. So I had players who are overhyped, and I had Jadeveon Clowney as an example. Players who had a good stretch to convert into like big contracts, but were shit before and after, and I had Jordan Lyles who had like 11 good games in his whole career.
Matt Flynn.
Players who were good and got the big deal, then like died, so Albert Pujols, Jason Hayward, Barry Zito, Albert Hainsworth, or just bad contracts. Like the Bobby Bonilla contract comes to mind. He's still getting paid by the Mets. Kirk Cousins,
the Bonilla thing. The people that owed money to him got made off, so they renegotiated. So it's hard to classify that.
And like another one that came to mind was Keith Van Horn, because he like was on rosters for years but didn't play, but was the money trade, right? He was just getting paid $20 million to not suit up.
Nate, I love the fact that you brought up Keith Van Horn. I don't think Keith Van Horn has been brought up in a podcast for 15 years.
Let's get him trending, people. Get down in the comments, write some hashtags.
Fantastic.
So I don't know if you guys have any feelings. Like, if you were to think of an overhyped player, who comes to your mind?
Well, we need another bucket. We need another bucket.
Player that didn't live up to his contract.
Well, hold on. Does Jamarcus Russell go into any of these buckets?
No, because those are those are
bad drafts.
Yeah, bad drafts are.
Oh, and I guess that was in the
different.
era of like pre-negotiated Okay.
Yep.
Overhyped.
Yeah, well, like another one was who was the point guard that went to the Blazers? He had a really unique name. Sorry, shit.
Sebastian Telfair.
Sebastian Telfair, right?
God,
like super hyped, but came and did nothing.
that's
Jermaine O'Neal.
That's another draft. Jermaine O'Neal did have a really good career.
He had a long career, yeah.
Chone Figgins.
Same Battier, Sean Figgins, sure. I mean, he would fit into the bucket of did stuff and then got a big contract, right?
Yeah. Him and Rendon both.
Mm-hmm.
Even Adrian Beltre with his Mariner contract.
Yeah, but he proved it after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to approach this from the bucket perspective because there's lots of ways to write bad contracts. Like maybe the player's even worth it, but it puts the team in such a bind that it's hard to classify not as a bad contract.
I think that the Lamar Jackson is going to be a bad contract over the course of his career. I don't the way he plays, I don't see him staying healthy, unfortunately, to finish that out. So again, hamstringing the franchise, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, and it's different from sport to sport though. Like I like this kind of bucketed approach, but like when you look at a contract like let's say Rendon or a contract like let's say Lamar Jackson, like the difference between what is and isn't totally guaranteed is night and day. I mean, Rendon's fully guaranteed. What is it, like $325?
A lot.
And he's just sitting on the bench trying to get in fights with Jesse Winker. It's crazy.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Gunner, friend of the pod, who helped me, think about this. It was a pretty fun little conversation.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's an interesting one.
A couple for me for the overhyped one, or not the overhyped, but the good stretch one. NFL Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
He had that really good. He won the Super Bowl, then got that big contract with Jacksonville, and then, I mean, that was kind of injury, but even when he came back, he wasn't as effective. I think the most famous example for the NBA here in Seattle is Jerome James.
Jerome James in the early 2000s had one good series and turned it into like a 6-year, $30 million contract with the Knicks. So I think those are the two big ones for me. Mm-hmm. Those are good.
I mean, and then you could also do, even though bad contracts, you could do an injury bucket as well. Someone like
Adams,
Jamal Adams, Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Players like that. I mean,
yeah,
you're right, Thomas. There are more even buckets than
well,
we have right now.
Yeah, you can't even go sport to sport. We've brought up a couple quarterbacks. How about Matt Flynn, right? Like, the quarterback is its own like subcategory because it seems like the minimum price for a quarterback is like $35 million, and they're not all worth that. So, that's interesting. Interesting way to kind of think about it and classify it. I like it.
Yeah. Hey Thomas, what you got?
Just a couple of rando baseball things. I'm trying to actively follow the Mariners, but some of these games are just so hard to watch with the way the offense is sputtering. So I try to keep myself occupied with looking up random things and random statistics. So I just wanted to share a couple with you. Of course, over the last couple of weeks, we continue to be frustrated by the inconsistency and the scuffles of the offense. And so you think to yourself, we should have kept this guy or should have traded this guy. So I just went looking on the internet. Have you guys looked at Jesse Winker's Baseball Savant page?
No.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's all blue. And if you're not a big fan of Baseball Savant, they basically color code all their little kind of statistics in a percentile rankings. And blue is when you're below average. And he's like 30th in exit velocity, 33rd in hard hits, 17th in ex-WOBA, 2nd percentile in ex-slug. Like, he just looks like the worst hitter of all time, so that's pretty funny. I went to look at Mitch Haniger's, and he doesn't really have a baseball savant page because he doesn't have enough at bats because he's been hurt. So there's the answer to that question. And then I went and looked at Teo's, right? Because I think we're all a little underwhelmed with how he's begun the season. And he's got a lot of red on here. So some of the underlying statistics do favor him. He's been kind of coming on here of late. So I think we just need to kind of preach patience with, it's a long season. It's tough to watch right now, but you got to believe that some of these guys are going to recover.
Yeah, I mean, if Teoscar stays on pace, he's like hitting 240 with 30 bombs and 80 plus RBIs. I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, his OPS right now is 683, and you want your big bat acquisition, theoretically designated hitter to be over 775, 800. 683 is not good enough. But some of the underlying stats are there. So, saw an article today also on MLB.com about the most improved hitters from 2022 to 2023 as measured by xWOBA improvement. And Jared Kelenic was not on the list.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah.
Did he not have enough at-bats last year?
No, I mean, he had enough at-bats this year and enough at-bats this year, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe the guy that wrote the article was filtering his results, but yeah, it was a snub. They went all the way down the list, and like, oh, this guy, he's really improved from last year, and his xWOBA improved by like 40 points, whatever. And Kelenic is up something like 80 or 90. So, anyway, just continuing to marvel at the improvement he's made. He mushed another one last night to deep center, longer than 450. So,
yeah, that was a blast.
He's really smoking him. Brian, what you got?
The NBA draft had their draft lottery last week. The San Antonio Spurs won the number 1 pick in the draft lottery with a chance to draft Victor Wembanyama. He is really good. 19, 7'6" wingspan, something crazy like that. He's the best prospect they've had since they're saying since LeBron James came out. Yeah, since LeBron came out. Nate, you look so pissed off right now. What's going on?
Look, I've never seen a 7'4" plus player be good in the NBA.
That's true.
And a wing player at that. Like I feel, I mean, the outlier in all of the NBA history has been Kevin Durant, right? 6'11", and he's like the most comparable. This kid is 6 inches taller than this dude. Like his legs look like they're gonna snap if he makes a wrong cut or something. I just don't understand. Number one, it's unfair for a 19-year-old overseas player or 19-year-old anywhere to put this much hype on him. I mean, even LeBron, who lived up to his hype,
by the way,
like it was very unfair, and there's been a lot of talk about LeBron coming in the league 3 years before like Jordan or anybody like that, right? Because they all had to go to college. But I feel bad for him if he fails.
Yeah.
I don't want to wish that anybody fails, but that body style, I just don't. I mean, the NBA is different now, but I just I don't know, the travel, like all of it. You never know, right? And I'm hesitant to put pressure on a kid like this.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's a 19-year-old kid. Like you're right, he could be a generational talent, but he's a 19-year-old kid. Anyways, San Antonio won the rights to draft him. Charlotte got the number 2 pick. Portland got the number 3 pick. The other prospects that are probably going to go in the top 3, Brandon Miller from Alabama. That guy has an NBA-ready body. And then Scoot Henderson from the G League. That's probably the top 3. It's going to be really interesting to see if Brandon Miller goes 2, because Portland has the 3rd pick, and they don't need a guard. So are they going to trade out of it? Are they going to say, screw it, we're going to have 3 guys, our 3 best players, all be under 6'2"? It's going to be really interesting to see if Brandon Miller goes 2, what Portland does. I could see Portland trading the pick to a team that needs a point guard. So
pretty
Does this
excited.
Scoot character go to the G League directly, or did he play college? Like,
No, he went directly to the G League. He played for G League Ignite.
interesting.
Yeah, so I always like watching stuff like that. And like I said earlier, sportspredictions.net is going to have a draft article where we are predicting who goes where. So pretty excited about that. I love doing stuff like that. So we will see soon. Hey Nate, what you got?
Well, I'm a big Ted Lasso fan. I don't know if anybody's caught up. I'm not going to give away spoilers. I'm really enjoying the last episode because it brought up again, men's mental health, and also like really showing great growth of characters throughout the 3 seasons. And I kind of wanted to tie it to what Geno Smith said today. It was either today or yesterday about mental health. And I just want to read the quote because I really think it's poignant. I think any conversation we can have around mental health, especially for men, is important. And so he said, I think mental health is very important to everybody, not just athletes, but to the entire world. Obviously, there are a ton of stress that everyone's under, and people cope with them in many different ways. And so I think the more that we can just talk about it, shed light on mental health, I think it creates a safe place for people where they feel like they can be vulnerable and can express themselves so that they can get better. So I think that's the importance of what it is to me. And I think that's a really, really great quote from
Nailed
Gino
it. Yeah.
on a podium. And I think, Ted Lasso at the end of last season had a really great commentary about, anxiety and mental health. And I just like to give props where it needs to be given. And I appreciate that Gino is on the Seahawks and talking about these things. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thomas, what you got?
Kind of following up on your point, man, I've got hype for the Seahawks right now. I really do. I don't know. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, just, digging in a little bit on each of these new players that they've gotten. A lot of the draft picks, some of the free agents, just everyone's got a cool story. Everyone's got that little chip that Pete and John love. Everyone's eloquent. Everyone's saying the right stuff. Even the guys that aren't new. I mean, just Nate, to your point just now. I mean, Gino getting up on the podium and not using his platform in a really aggressive way that is disingenuous, but just answering a question and putting out some fucking knowledge, man. Like, take care of your chickens. Like, I love it, man. I got hyped for this team right now. It's really giving me 2012 vibes, where it's just the mix of dudes was good, and the talent showed. It's really really got me going. Brian, what you got?
Really quick, just wanted to touch on the South Florida, how they are the center of the sports world right now. Thomas, you brought up the women's Final Four recently. It had Miami in it. Or actually, they made the Elite Eight, but still they went further than anybody expected. The men's Final Four had 2 teams from Florida in it. It had, Florida Atlantic. It had Miami. Now you've got Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, 1 win away from the NBA Finals as an 8 seed, and the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals, 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Finals as an 8 seed. Oh, yeah, and Brooks Koepka is from South Florida, and he won the PGA Championship. So it just seems like everything is coming up Florida right now. I know for a while there, everything was coming up Boston. It's nice to see something new. Hopefully, someday soon, everything will be coming up Seattle.
Nice. Yeah, hope so.
Hey, Nate, what you got?
Okay, I got a bone to pick. This is going to sound very Thomas. I received 3 RSVPs in the mail. It's fine. But they required me to do work to return them via mail and not online responses. So I actually had to go and fucking buy stamps and go to the damn post office box. And this person is going to receive these things.
Don't go to that wedding.
And have to do extra work. And then they're going to have to fucking chase down people. It just bugs the shit out of me.
If you're listening, shame on you.
Reply online.
Very, very cute what you've done, but allow us to reply online. Thank you and goodbye.
I was very frustrated.
No.
Very frustrated. Very frustrated. You're causing everybody more work. So I had to bring that up.
Get
3 of them.
outside once in a while. Jesus Christ.
3 of them. I'm always outside.
Well, then you shouldn't be complaining.
About
I had to go
having
get
to go to
stamps.
the fucking post office and buy stamps? Fuck you.
How do you not have stamps?
Why do you have stamps?
You never know when you need them.
I never need them. I never need stamps. Like, I know exactly when the time is that I need stamp, and it's never.
Man, even you do like Shutterfly, they automatically mail the shit to people. Like,
Or give me a self-addressed stamped envelope, right? Classic
or yeah,
SASE.
provide the stamp. That's even better. Not one of them provided a stamp either.
One of them
God.
should have provided 3 stamps, knowing that this trouble would befell you.
That's actually a good idea too. That would be really kind of somebody to do that. Here's 3 stamps just in case.
Okay. Pay it forward, all right? Mail 10 stamps to 10 people. Or however many
Alright.
stamps you have left.
Oh, I have like 35 left. It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God. What did it
I don't
cost?
know.
Like
How
$4
many
million?
stamps did I roll?
Fuck, I don't know. Too many.
I decided, I was like, man, I'm going to get a roll of stamps, forever
There's
stamps.
20 in a book of stamps.
Well, I don't know, man. It was a roll of stamps. That came in this like cute little thingy that like, whatever. I had to complain about that. I didn't get a chance. My mom doesn't get it. So I had to complain with somebody.
Shocking that your mom it's like, no, mail's great.
Jeez. All right. Thank you for my coming to my
Nate,
rant,
I'll listen to
Thomas rant.
your Thomas rants any day.
Ugh. All right. We'll be right back with Would You Rather and Random Question. Son of a bitches. 3 of them.
Nate, I don't feel bad for you.
I can't believe you guys aren't giving me more props for my day at the plate.
We did.
Yeah, you were like, oh,
Said you're leading the team in batting average.
Yeah, I literally said that.
Selective
Whatever.
hearing from Thomas.
Whatever.
Not to toot my own horn, but
I'm gonna toot the fuck out of this horn, dude. I mushed that triple. I fucking mushed it.
who's coming up with the would you rather questions?
I got
Nate, or you?
2. I think we should do 3 or 4.
I mushed it.
Okay.
Ooh, I got one.
Okay. So we'll alternate.
Would you rather
Thomas,
hit
you have
first or 12th? What? What'd you do with my wedding ring?
Oh, man. That's bad. All right, ready?
God, it smells like someone shit their pants in here.
Do you have one more, or should I find another one while you're talking?
I think I might be able to come with
Am I this is a,
Do you wanna find
B-
one?
BYOQ section?
Yeah. Let Thomas find one. I'll do the first one, Brad will do the second one, Thomas will do the third. And I'll close.
Are we doing randoms or would you rather's?
Yeah. Random. Or whatever you want.
No, it's would you rather.
Would you rather?
Nate, are yours would you rather?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Oh no, I closed the episode thingy. I'm back. Welcome back, everybody. Got a would you rather question. Simple this or that. And I got the first one. And it came up relatively close to when Brian brought his last week, which were really interesting ones I really liked. Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak? Kind of piggybacks off of Brian's trend.
Anybody who knows me knows that I would never in a million years be able to stop speaking. So it would have to be the ability to read. That's a tough one,
Yeah.
but I think for me it's the ability to read.
I don't know how you would function in society.
If what?
Function in society as a mute, right? With like AI programs or whatever to talk for you if you typed it in, you know. But like, how do you navigate the world if you can't read? like menus.
If
and...
I
books.
couldn't read, I could figure out a way to live in the world. If I couldn't speak, the world would have to adjust to me, and that would be a much bigger ask. So I think I'd rather be able to speak but not be able to read.
Yeah, I mean, Nate, when you're at a restaurant, you can just say, "I want that," and point at something. There are books on tape. So
the
you
extrovert,
could still
that is willing to not speak.
couldn't do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. I
is.
kind of liked it. Yeah.
All right, my would you rather. I think I know the answer for you guys. This one's probably a little bit tougher for me than it is for you guys. Would you rather hit a walk-off home run or a game-winning half-court shot?
Oh.
I mean, for me, because I'm a baseball player, a walk-off home run. But, like, there's something about a half-court shot, man. Like, I mean, I just always think of, March Madness and how crazy it is. Everybody running on the court, mobbing you. Yeah.
I think the dinger for me. I mean, like I could hit a half court shot. Like I could with enough tries. I could, right? The number of tries required for me to hit a dinger is infinite. So I think that'd be I'd have a much more positive emotional reaction to that because it would be a lot less expected for me.
Wow, that's a really good point. Hitting a half-court shot is attainable by a normal human. Hitting a home run is very difficult by a normal human. Wow, Thomas, bringing the content again.
So I have hit a game-winning half-court shot. Granted, it was intramurals or club league or whatever, but man, it's a cool feeling. I haven't hit a game-winning home run, so I think I would lean more towards that because I haven't done it. But I mean, they're both pretty awesome, so there's really no wrong answer there. But I would probably lean home run as well.
My turn?
Yep.
So exciting. So mine is not a would you rather, but I think it's an interesting question. I think we could all provide kind of different answers to this one because we all produce food. I think all three of us cook. So I'm wondering, do you have a favorite recipe to cook and why?
Well, yeah, recently mine's become carbonara. I think it's a really just simple, fun dish that tastes great. And it can be paired with many, many different things. It's a relatively neutral flavor base, right? Like salt and oil is basically, what it is. And so I've been really leaning into that. You can use multiple different noodles. Like, I mean, it's a pretty great dish, and I've been doing like roasted broccoli or Brussels sprouts or something like that with it, and it's been pretty fantastic.
Nice. What you got, B?
I have two, and they are for very different reasons. The first one is my stuffed peppers, and the reason why is because I found this recipe on my own, did a couple of tweaks on my own, and perfected it. And they are so good. And then my second one is my spaghetti sauce with my homemade meatballs, and it's the exact opposite for that. The reason why that one's on there is because my mom taught it to me, and
Nice.
so she taught me like which spices. Don't use too much of this. Make sure you put in garlic. Don't use red wine in sauce. Thins it out. You want a nice thick sauce. Things like that. So that's why. For me, it's the spaghetti sauce and the stuffed peppers.
Nice.
What about you, Thomas?
I've got a breakfast potato that I love to make. I think there's a lot of things that we consume in our life that where there's some amount of kind of ritualism to it. And for me, for a long time, making breakfast potatoes was a signal of the weekend. And so, especially when I first moved out on my own, I was like, Saturday morning, I'm going to make myself breakfast. And so it always kind of just resets me to know that it's a it's a weekend day, and it's kind of a ritualistic thing. And potatoes, peppers, onions, sausage, eggs,
Can't go
avocado,
wrong.
and bacon for breakfast. You can't go wrong. So
All right, guys.
It's so
One
good.
of these times, we are going to have to come up with what me and Pat have talked about for years, which is a bracket, full 64. Maybe we can't get 64, at least 32 of potato-based foods.
all right, wait, y'all, we're gonna need some help on that one. So send in your favorite potato-based foods. Hit us
and
up,
then
email, Twitter, anywhere. Let us know what your potato-based foods are, and we can throw them in a
we'll do
bracket.
poll.
That's
We'll-
interesting.
We'll do a random bracket. We'll do polls. I mean, geez, the potato. So many things come from the potato. So
good. Smashed potatoes are legendary.
potato chips, hash browns. I
Mm.
mean, the list just goes on and on.
All right.
Yeah.
Last would you rather. It's a callback to when we did our randoms and we were disappointed. So I'm going to ask it. Would you rather be Batman or Iron Man?
Batman.
Batman.
Iron
Wait.
Man.
Wait. Neither of these two superheroes have any actual superpowers. They're
No.
both just like rich.
Yeah,
Uh,
remember, I don't know if you remember the previous one. It was like Batman or Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, and I chose Batman because he doesn't actually have any superpowers and he's just a badass. And
So now these
you
are just
tricked
two
me.
dudes.
You tricked me.
Iron Man.
Iron Man can actually fly. Iron Man.
Get
They're
to hang
both
out
filthy rich.
Get to hang out with cooler people. Both their parents died when they were young.
I mean, I think of the Christopher Nolan Batmans when I think of Batman. I think that is just like super badass, you know. I lean Batman just because of like nostalgia, but Iron Man has some juice behind him too, like all the toys he gets to play with. The thing that bothered me about Iron Man is he has like a thing that he has to have to keep them alive, you know, and so that's like seems like a vulnerability to me. So
Doesn't that make him more human though?
maybe
I
He
think
just, like,
Iron Man.
flick that thing off and he dies right there, right? Yeah.
I think Iron Man because he has cooler friends.
I mean, does he?
I think he does. But that's probably
Alfred's pretty
because
cool.
that's probably because I've been watching a lot more Marvel movies than
Mm.
DC movies lately. So like, yeah, I would love to hang out with the Hulk and Thor and Black
Yeah.
Widow and Captain America and Doctor Strange. And,
That'd be such a stuffy poker game. Holy shit.
well, yeah, the Hulk would always win because he wouldn't know how to play, but everybody would still be like, "Okay, you win."
That shit doesn't fly in my house. You're not getting invited back.
Oh, that's my would you rather. Has anybody else got one more? Any more? You good? Got a closing question? Brought to us by a sneeze. Oh, you
Brought
need
to
it.
us by
Nice work.
faculty.washington.edu.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. We're kind of floating back and forth here. We're looking to see if there's something we can do here. On the note of the question you just asked, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh man.
It,
I always, like when I was a kid, I always said invisibility.
yeah, it's a fun question to like ask a 12-year-old, but like, I don't know, like, yeah, the superpower I want is like to get a mortgage. Right.
So practical.
Mine would be to teleport so I wouldn't have to sit in traffic.
Oh. Didn't we have this
That's-
question already?
That's a good one.
We might have.
Yeah, but if you could fly, traffic wouldn't matter.
All right. Here's another one then.
As
What's
Iron
your
Man?
what's your go-to dance move?
God, I'm such a fuddy-duddy. All I can do when you ask these questions is think of like the most asshole-ish thing I can possibly say, and like that's my answer.
Mine's the shopping cart. Shopping cart into sprinkler.
Yeah, sprinklers a solid option. I
This thing
don't.
called the Nate Shuffle. That's all I do. If you're on YouTube, you're getting a show.
I mean, not that kind of show. No, I mean, there's no. Oh man, there's no one that will ever catch me again on a dance floor.
Okay.
Probably that's just not
I'm
gonna.
doing it. I'm doing it. Going to Chat GPT.
Oh yeah, that worked so good last time.
Oh, I have to log in. I don't have it.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me jump over there.
I have it on my phone, but I'm not gonna navigate to my phone.
That worked out so good last time. I think was that when you and I were doing it and Brian was gone.
You recommended it when we were all here, I think.
Your session has expired. Please log in. Log in.
I didn't want to put the AI on my work computer.
Is it gonna think that you're looking at the pornos?
I don't know. Like a lot of companies have like blocked it. I just don't want to risk it. I mean,
Oh
Twitter
crap!
and
I don't
stuff
think.
is-
Yeah, I'm logged out and I don't have my password saved. That's a little distressing.
I have
Hold
it
on,
my
if-
phone.
Yeah, if you can hang out for like 2 seconds, I can get logged back in probably. This will get edited out anyway, except for the people on YouTube enjoying the fun behind the scenes watching Thomas try to log into his Chat GPT account.
Oh, AI.
Yeah, Brian. Last time I asked it, like ask a random sports themed question and ask me something about the Olympics, and I was like, we don't know much about the Olympics, and then it responded back with like a really awesome question. Pretty cool, right? Nate, if you've got one or if you're working on it, I'm still trying to
No, I
load
didn't.
in.
Sorry. It's great. Oh, damn it. Why does it log you out?
This is riveting
Sorry.
stuff. I'm so glad.
So it's not running in the background?
Yeah, it's like not sending me the link to reset my password. Well, we got some questions in there. We could probably just end it here. Or do you really want to shove another one in there?
That was fine. Next time. Next time.
Put it on the agenda.
Huh?
Put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
You gonna take us home, Nate?
Where did we leave off?
I think we just finished the superpower question.
Oh.
So I think you can probably just take us home.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us on episode 30.
Episode 30.
Like I said, feels like a milestone.
40 is a
Been doing it
milestone.
Over a half a year. Yeah. Thomas is almost 40. Oh wait, it's May. Thomas is 40.
Thomas is 40.
It's always nice chatting with y'all. See
Yeah.
you tomorrow at softball.
I'm pumped. New shirts. First game together. It's
I
gonna be
didn't
good
realize
night.
they were dry fit shirts. They're pretty nice.
Go Sons of Pitches.
Go Sons of Pitches.
Sons of Pichet.
Party people. Shout out Flip. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
Have a good night.